Tom, can you help us understand how this monster moved across this region?
Yeah, Jake, really, this is one of the great mysteries of tornadoes. When you look at this kind of extraordinary damage, you wonder, why does one place last and another one does not? After all, when this storm came cutting through here, it was an equal opportunity destroyer going all the way through this neighborhood, cutting a wide swath and hitting many, many different buildings. So why did some stand and others not? A bit of it is chance. It may be that the gust is over 200 miles an hour in one place and 50 feet away it may only be 150 miles an hour. If your house gets hit by the stronger one, it makes a difference. But there's also some real physics at work here in the physics of construction. Let's bring in a model of a house here and talk about this. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has looked at the way wind hits a building like this, the way in a storm like this, it hits from one side pushing, it creates a vacuum on the other side which pulls away. That creates lower pressure, making the pressure in the house want to burst out. And the whole time as wind rushes up over it, it grabs the eaves and tries to open it like a can opener. They've come up with a standard for what happens to most homes in that case. And this is what it is. Basically, up to about 97 miles an hour, most homes can keep their roof on. Once the roof is torn away, though, at about 132 miles an hour, you start seeing the walls failing, and around 200 miles an hour, the home is completely wiped out. So many places where there is no home at all, that's because at some moment in that storm, it crested 200 miles an hour in that particular spot, and that's what took that home out, even though it might not have done it to a house only 50, 60 feet away, because the wind may not have been quite that strong there. What about something like the school, though? This is a very different type of structure, as you can see. It's flat and it's broad, and the standards are different here. In this case, the winds will take the roof at about 101 miles an hour, so only slightly more than at the house. The walls will go at about 139 miles per hour, but overall, the whole building can be taken at about 176 miles an hour. That has to do with the structure. Think about this. This is broad. All of the rooms in a school, by and large, are bigger than the rooms in your home. So if the roof and the walls start failing, there's less to support it than you would have in your home with smaller rooms, and so it goes away. And finally, let's look at one last class here, things like the hospital down here. We've all looked at this hospital today. It's huge. It's standing right in the storm's path. It gets hit like a giant sail. You might think that this would be the first thing to collapse. But the construction in a building like this is much more robust than you might think. Look at the standards here. Basically, this roof is going to stay on up to about 114 miles an hour. The walls can stay in place up to about 148 miles an hour. And even if the roof and walls start failing here, you're probably just talking about the upper layers of it here and maybe the top floor, but not all of them. All that concrete and all that steel really does make a genuine difference. So the whole building will hold up on average to about 210 miles an hour. And I want to make one last point here, Jake, about this notion of averages. We are talking about averages here. There are maximums that have also been calculated by NOAA, and they're worth noticing here. An average house out there can stand a maximum wind of about 220 and might still be standing. You might still have a chance. The average elementary school out there, considerably lower. Remember what we said about all those big buildings. And then a hospital, big building like that, look, you're pushing 270 miles an hour before you're almost certain that it will come down. So, Jake, there is an element of chance that everyone out there is painfully aware of, but there's also pure physics to explain why some places stood and others fell.